But then I also am an artist. So on December 7th, my birthday, I released my fourth solo CD.
We were going to talk about that.
Yes.
I knew we were getting into that.
So let me just run them down for you so you can understand where I'm coming from. It took the pandemic to slow me down. Prior to that, I always was making original music. You and I, your lyrics, my music, doing my own stuff and going back and forth, but never putting it in a package that could be presented to the world.
Right.
And when the pandemic hit and it slowed the world down, boy, I had nothing but time on my hand. I have a beautiful studio in my home down in the basement, which I've just made some amazing modifications to, where I can actually do live recordings in. You can't believe how good my drums are sounding in that space now. But when the pandemic hit, it allowed me the ability and the opportunity to dig inside myself and then work towards releasing a solo project. So my very first project, I released it on December 7th, 2020, and it was called Introducing the Brother AJ7, because it had 7 songs on it, and it was released on December 7th. What a great project that was. It was, anytime it's your first of something,
of course,
it's like giving birth to it. You truly love it.
Absolutely.
My second project was called Never in My Life, and I released that in 2021. What's that classic about the sophomore slump? I actually think I got better, because the first one was the first time trying it. The second one, I knew what I needed to do and how to really deliver. And I think the songs on that, it's more cohesive. No songs work better as a collective. And I really, truly love that product. And you get to hear me stretch a little bit and sing. I never considered myself a singer. I'm a musician first, but you really hear me trying to reach for some things and sing a little bit. And then in 2022, last year, I dropped my Let It Flow project. And Let It Flow is a lot more eclectic. It's a lot like my idol Prince, where because he's so eclectic, it allowed me the opportunity to be as eclectic as I wanted to be, because that's kind of my mindset and how I roll. And then on my birthday for December 7th of 2023, I dropped my fourth project, and that project was called I N. Go ahead, say it.
I don't remember.
I was checking it. It's called INS12L Me.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I was saying in my head, because I can't do acronyms like that. I'm like, okay.
I know.
Even when I'm doing my own, I'm like, yeah. Okay.
And I'm not going to tell you what the acronym stands for. All you folks out there in podcasts, and if you want to know what the acronym is, go do a search for the Brother AJ. Go find that project, and there's a song on that project that will tell you what it is. One of the cool things I've done for each one of those is I've released a video for every one of my projects.
Yep.
The first one was one of the songs that was not a title track, and the second one also was not the title track, but the last 2 are the title tracks of the albums, have been the videos. And I've been enjoying that because I've been, in addition to doing the music thing, I'm really trying to work on my video game. Not video game like video game playing, but upping my video.
I was gonna say, wait, you playing videos now?
Upping my video, technique to record videos.
Getting better at your videos, yeah.
So these are, when talking about what I'll be doing in retirement, these are the things. So those are the 3 things. When you talk about why I'm living my best life, those are the 3, I guess you call them my core pillars. But then this would be the 4th one. And the 4th one really is, I always have believed that people want to be around people they like. No one wants to hang out with folks they don't care about. And I don't try to be a people pleaser. I am authentically, every space I walk into, I am authentically always my own original self. You either like me or you don't, because I am not everybody's cup of tea. I can be a little brazen. I have a high opinion of myself. I can be a little dominating and domineering. And I am an acquired taste, to say the least. And what I will tell you is I am so grateful that more people like me than don't.
Yeah.
And so that allows me to move around the spaces I move in the way I am, and it allows me to fully be myself. That's why I think I am who I am.
See, folks, he has a lot going on, and there's a lot going on every single day. I come home from work and I be like,
what are you
I'm
doing
so
today?
tired. But then I go downstairs He's downstairs in the basement. He's creating something. Got the music playing. He's dancing around. I'm like, oh boy.
I started DJing again.
Exactly.
Oh man.
The DJing. You're doing all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff. But anyway, so what I love about the whole concept of living your best life, it's really about individuals. Again, we said doing what they love.
Yes.
And so many people are just moving through life and they're not doing anything that they love to do. They're not doing anything. They're going to work, they're coming home, they're going to sleep, they're getting up, they're going to work, they're coming home. That is such an awful way to live.
Yes.
Awful way to live. Live, 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 live. Just live your life and be happy and have fun. So I think tonight we should talk about ways that people can have fun.
Well, I think that's a great segue.
Yeah.
And I would say this to you, because almost everybody we know has to work.
Yeah, including me.
Yes, we have, I only know one or two people who truly have been able to, well, let me up that number. I really know probably about 7 people who have been able to do the thing they love to do to sustain themselves. So, what they always tell you, they say, find out the thing you love and then go do it and you never work a day in your life.
And you never work a day in your life.
And that's
right.
false because you're still working. But when you love it, you don't perceive it as work. So this is what I would say to those of us who, well, I was on that train for 42 years.
Yeah.
But what you saw in me is I might have been physically at that job working. Okay? The body was there.
We know where this is going.
Okay? But believe me, you never saw me without my book bag.
Yeah.
And in my book bag, I had my own pad that I was writing shit down on.
Yeah.
I was reading books, either self-help, autobiographies, anything that I was reading that was going to give me knowledge and further my own mental, fortitude. As I was at work, I was researching things, even about the job, to make the job. When you get good at your job, that's when the job becomes easy. When you're trying to learn your job and do the job. So if you're in a job for 10 years and it took you 3-4 years to learn the job, now those next 6 years you can, I don't want to say coast, but the job is easy because now you have really mastered the job. So now you can multitask and you do other things. But when I say multitask, I don't mean I was multitasking doing their stuff. I was doing my stuff. I was working equally hard at my job as I was working on my own personal stuff. And so, don't do it in a way that you're getting yourself in trouble. Don't use your company's resources and all that, those gray areas you get involved in. But never, ever take the job to the point where you think the job is the biggest and best thing in your life. Because my favorite line to you is, let something happen to you.
Oh, yeah.
They will come over there, clean your desk out, slide your nameplate out, put somebody's new in there, slide a new name in,
as if you were
and you was never there.
Exactly.
So why are you going to give all of yourself to them? I'm not saying don't be good at your job. I'm not saying don't take it serious. But what I'm saying to you is there's more to you than your job.
Exactly.
So you're already committed for 40 hours a week with these people. Okay? So in those 40 hours of that week, carve out some time for yourself to do your own thing. One thing I will say is when the pandemic hit, one of our leaders said, he said, listen, you need to take time out for yourself. Now people are stuck at home and, he says, I need you to go to your calendar and you block out lunchtime. Don't take no calls, that's your time. He said that, man, I immediately went to my calendar. I hit 12 to 1, blocked that off for the whole, it just automatically popped in my head. I put it in pink too, so it's a nice bright color that you could see. And from 12 to 1, don't bother me. I'm out.
It's funny, that's very important to say, because I'm the type of person who I can be comfortable sitting at my desk, even through my lunch period, because, I just like sitting there. But then I started to realize, you know what, you need to get away from this desk. Even if you just go to the teacher's lounge, you need to go somewhere. You need to get out of the way. Because you know what was happening while I was sitting at my desk?
Somebody's coming to you, bringing something to you.
Every time somebody comes to me, I'm answering them, I'm doing the inquiry, I'm doing all this stuff. I'm on my lunch break, but I'm still doing all that stuff. And so many people do that.
100%.
So many people do that. So we really do. We're gonna take AJ's advice, because we're not gonna sit at our desk. We're gonna take that hour. That is ours. when we are at work and we're going to leave our place of working so that we can get a whole nother perspective, we can see things differently, and we can just unwind. That's our time. It don't belong to anyone.
And you ask anybody.
Yeah.
From the time once I crossed over to management, because when I was a tech, I was on the road, by yourself, so you're doing your own thing. But once I crossed over to management, I worked in the office environment. As soon as that lunch bell rang, out. I would get in the, even if I didn't go nowhere. I mean, like if I didn't have anywhere specific to go, I would just get in that car. I know every park between my territory. I had Hackensack, Clifton, Oradell, Oakland, Harrison, Summit were my territories. I know every park in this. I know parks that people that work the territory don't know where they are, because I would go to any park and sit and have if I had my lunch with me, I used to keep a folding chair in the back of my company car.
Yeah.
I would have my book, I'd have to have my headphones, and I would step out the car because I wanted to disconnect. Yeah. So that is my one advice to you, because again, this is working on yourself. This is working on your own personal time. So I would encourage everyone to disconnect and do that.
And I'm going to encourage everybody to do that for real, because it's very, very important. But
let me give you something else to do.
Yeah.
Now that was work. Let's talk about leisure time.
Yeah, I was getting to that, because there has to be things. I don't think people really, I don't know a lot of people say, I don't know what I want to do in my spare time. I don't have any talent. I can't do this. I can't do that. Oh, you're blessed. Oh, you're gifted. But I think that you have not tapped into everything that you could possibly do in this life. And I think we get so stuck in our own ways that we're afraid to try something new and go out there and do something different. I started painting. I started doing all that. I do everything, because you never know what you're going to be good at, and you never know what's going to capture that essence of you. And that's how you get to live a good life, just trying things. But anyway.
A couple of things. People, we are creatures of habit. And people are afraid of change.
Afraid of change.
One of the blessings in my life is I am a change agent. Yeah. So I've changed jobs, I've changed locations. The only constants in my life have been working as long as I have, being married as long as I have, being in this house as long as I have.
Yeah.
Those are the constants in my life. But everything else is open to change. I am a kick and scream type, because if it's something that I really ain't feeling, you gotta drag me.
Yeah, you don't try a whole lot of things.
Yeah, I'm saying you gotta drag me, because what you have to do is you gotta convince me that it's worth my time.
Yes.
But once you get me there, you're gonna look around and say, and you see him? He the one that didn't want to come. And look at him.
He didn't want to. I had to pull your arm and make you go. I had to make you try this.
But I'm that guy, so I will, do it. I understand that. One of the things I do try to do is I like to try to face my fears, because I think the best way to ever grow is when you're in a state of fear, because fear forces you to really tap into some things. And when we get comfortable, what's that line? We get fat, we get comfortable.
Yeah.
Fear stretches you. You can't be fat and be afraid. Because you got to be moving.
Well,
okay?
You can be fat.
Oh no, you can't, because your fear will keep you moving. Okay. So, and I don't want to be like a negative fear person. I mean fear to give you that energy and that vibe. And so when we talk about this leisure time, what I'm talking about is you would sleep for 8 hours. You go to work for 8 hours. Mm-hmm. Guess what you got left?
8 hours?
You got 8 hours left. And so a lot of people now will come home because of that hard day they had at work, and they spend 2, 3, 4 of those hours doing nothing.
That would be me.
Okay, doing nothing.
Yeah.
So I believe you come in, you decompress, you purge 30 minutes,
you have to
hour,
decompress.
Get that out your system, and then say, what's the one thing I want to deal with today? And you should have had that made up. So I might have came in here, like I changed a window in the bedroom, okay? And so first I got the window, I had in the basement, and I said, I got to be in the mood. Okay, yeah, I don't want to just go up there and force myself to do it. And then I woke up that one day and I was like, today's that day. So let me plot it out. Okay,
so
I'm gonna have breakfast.
It in your mind.
Yes, I'm gonna watch my sports stuff. Okay, now I'm gonna get up there about 11 o'clock and I can knock this out. And that's how I do for me. That's the way I do things, because I find that I tend to do things on the fly. I'm not a great with planning because I don't like structure.
Planning.
I'm not a structure person. I hate structure. I like to fly by the seat of my pants. So I will plan a few things, but I tend to take each day as it comes.
Yeah.
And so if you want to be adventurous, plan a couple days where you just jump in the car and go somewhere you've never been, and just experience it, because you need to stimulate yourself. You don't want the brain to just gentrify.
Yeah.
And I will say this, one of the things I didn't speak about, man, we had the pleasure of going out to see Hamilton this year. Now, we saw the daggone, first we got the soundtrack, because we were singing them songs like we wrote them songs.
Oh, yeah.
Then we saw, when Disney opened it up, we saw it on Disney, we looked at each other like flabbergasted, like we sitting here at home watching on TV, telling you this is the best play we ever seen in our lives.
I know, I must have saw it like 10 times.
Easily. I watched Hamilton the way I watched Purple Rain.
Yeah.
I saw Purple Rain so many times I was reciting all the lines, okay? And do you know, we just went and saw the Michael Jackson.
Yes, we did.
And I can't tell you, that was just last Saturday.
Yeah, we just saw it.
And I thought it was going to just be like the guy be up there performing, doing this. I had no idea it was going to be like they were going to try to weave his story into this production. And we again looked at each other like, and these are the things that make us come alive, because we are creative. We're creative types. We're theater folks. We're museum types. We're art. Anything with the arts.
Yes.
And so when you find that thing that's your thing, then tap into it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what people complain about? I'm the Newark Museum. I've been there. You know what? Well, get in the car, get on the train, go down to Washington, go to the Smithsonian, go to Philly, go up to Boston. All these other places have places you haven't been yet.
Yeah.
And even in your own town, there's probably a couple spots you don't know nothing about.
Exactly.
So do some research and do it. So whatever that thing is that you do, put some energy into doing it.
Yeah. I guess the bottom line is to try something new. Try something that you haven't tried before, because you don't know what's going to spark you. What's going to motivate you. What's going to make you say, hey, I didn't even realize I like that, but I like that. There's still a lot of things on my bucket list that I want to do. I don't want to jump out of a plane like you did. Absolutely not. But, there's some things that I still want to do that I think is adventurous.
Absolutely.
But I don't know.
Well, I will say this too, and this is the other thing that I do, is I will just tell her, okay, this date, be ready.
I hate when he does that. I really do.
We just did that.
Oh my gosh, I really. And
we're doing it again.
I know, we're
Thursday.
doing it again, and I hate when he does that. But you know what? This is what's really gotten me to a place where I can literally live my best life, because I used to I had to plan everything out. Everything had to be planned from the very second, from the very minute. I had to know everything that was going on. But you fly by the seat of your pants.
That's right. I tell her, this is the date. This is the time we leaving.
Exactly.
This is your dress code. That's all she get.
But sometimes he don't even give me a dress code. Sometimes I literally have to figure it out. I have to say, well, listen, I don't know if I'm going to be walking, so I better wear some comfortable shoes.
I always tell you if we're going to do something like that.
But it's a lot of fun though. I have to tell you that because I'm not as carefree as he is, I'm getting there, but I'm not quite there. So whenever he tells me these things and don't give me any information, the first thing I do is I am really mad at him. I'm really mad at him. But then after we do the activity and I had such a good time, I'm so grateful that he doesn't listen to me, that he just does what he wants to do, and I just follow, because I have so much fun.
Absolutely.
And that's, and I think too, maybe that's another thing. I think if you have a partner, you don't have to be married to them or dating them, but if you have someone,
a cut buddy,
right, a cut buddy, or someone who could fuel that in you.
Think about girls trip.
Yes,
that's what they did. They just got together and went wilding out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
That's another way that you can start to learn how to live your best life.
Absolutely.
But what we don't want to do, AJ, is that we don't want people to just live to be living. Am I making sense?
No, you have to elaborate.
Okay. I don't want you to think that, okay, this is the life I've been given, so I'm just going to. I talk to so many people, and they're talking more about their death I'm 69 years old. I'm going to be dying soon. I'm like, what? You didn't even live yet.
Oh yeah.
So what I don't want you to focus on, I don't want you to focus on what's to come. I want you to live every second of every day.
That's right.
You miss so much when you start thinking about, oh, it's about to be the end of my life. I want you to live your life. Don't think about your life. Just live your life. That makes sense?
Yeah, I don't see. I don't have those people around me because when they start
I
talking
know.
like that, it's like the people you meet. They're like, "Hey, how you doing, Miss Smith?" Yeah. Oh, but my back is up, my sciatica, my arthritis, and yeah, I'm like, "Okay, good. See you. Gotta go." And I'm out. I ain't got time for that.
And people think you're really mean because you know.
Nah,
You know,
I don't need that energy
but
in
you
my
don't
life.
need that energy in your life. You really need to really change your vibration and your energy. And it's not, you're not being mean when you just remove yourself from people, places, and things that don't.
Let me help
well.
you, people. If you want to have some fun in your life, get your pen out and write this down. You know him. His name is Lenny Kravitz. The new video is TK421. Let me say it again. Lenny Kravitz's new video is TK421. You watch that video and you see how my man is enjoying himself and he don't give a damn what you think. And after you watch that video, if you ain't singing that damn song or trying to do some of these moves, you will see that Lenny's living his best life.
Well, I'm gonna have to look at that video myself.
Oh, the ladies, let me just say it for you now. The ladies gonna love this video.
All right, well, I'm gonna have to look at that video
The fellas gotta up their game, but the ladies gonna love the video.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to look at that video too. So before we leave, I just want, we're gonna next month we're gonna have a guest, but for right now, I wanted to give AJ some time to talk about all the things that he's doing because he's my true encouragement. Again, I'm gonna say I didn't start living my best life until probably a year or so ago. I mean, I wasted all that time being all serious, but to my I know, but to my defense, I was doing serious things. And when you're doing serious things, you build up this seriousness inside.
Okay, so let me help you with this because that's what people tell you, and these are what I call excuses.
I know they're excuses.
So here's my litmus test for serious things.
What?
Ready?
Yes.
So you're in a situation.
I'm in a situation.
And you only have to ask yourself this question.
Okay.
Is it life-threatening or is it not? If it's life-threatening, it's serious. If it's not, guess what? You can go do some other shit.
It's never, but you know what? You always have that one person who has to take care of everything, manage everything, get everything together. And then you got that one person who lives so carefree, they ain't got to do none of that. They don't have to worry about this, they don't have to worry about that. So they get to live their life in this nice and freestyle. I'm living my best life, while the other person is like, okay, we got to take care of this, I got to take care of this. Let's make sure that is done. Okay, let's get it all together, guys. So, it takes a moment for you to just say, like you said, is it life-threatening? Is it going to hurt somebody? Is it really that serious?
Exactly.
And for me, this is all new for me. This is all new. Me having fun, me enjoying my life, me doing the things that I always wanted to do but was afraid. Here we go with that fear again. Afraid to do because I'm worrying about what people might say, what people may think of me. Oh my God, what if I do this and people say something? But for the last couple of years, I must tell you, I'm really grateful that I have put all that aside so that I can truly live my best life. I'm grateful for this podcast where we can share all of this information with other individuals because I truly want everybody to live their best life. Your life don't have to be like AJ's because I don't know if anybody can keep up with AJ. And your life don't have to be like Tom, Dick, or Harry. But if you can find something in your life that makes you feel good about you, I want you to go out there and do it.
And I would say this, just look at my social media. Sometimes I post things. Now, I'm not one of the people that post crazy, all this ridiculous stuff. But like I am, literally like open. You get to see what I'm doing, how I'm doing, where I'm at, what's happening. And sometimes I'll get a text here, I'll get a message, yo, bro, don't you ain't. I'm like, if I put it out there, it's out there for public consumption. Once I hit send, it ain't no taking it back. And what you find out very quickly is, there are like 8 billion people on this planet. And if you only got like 500 Facebook friends, do you know what that percentage is compared to the world? It's like 0.000000000. Ain't nobody looking and checking for you. All the people that you're worried about, ain't nobody looking at you and checking for you. If you go live your life, half of them that are looking at you are saying, I wish I was doing what she's doing. Okay?
True.
So don't stress about it. Don't worry about it.
True.
And I do want to put one more thing in the universe. Because there is one thing that I have struggled with. The same way I struggled with this, getting this degree. I've been trying to write this book forever. Okay? I have about 350 pages worth of stuff.
Too much.
And I just can't seem to put this thing to rest. This book should have been out 10 years ago, So I'm coming on this podcast and I'm putting it in the universe, because one of the things I find is when you don't have accountability, then it just lingers. So if I put it out in the universe on this podcast, I'm completing this book this year. And when I say this year, I don't mean I'm trying to wait till December. I am really going to try to get in this lab, and I am trying to get this thing targeted at least by a September date, so that I can have this thing ready to go, so I can tap into one side of me. I don't consider myself a novelist type writer, but I am a person who believes this. I believe every single one of us has a great book inside of us. Now, most of us only have one great book inside of us, unlike Stephen King and, Patterson and Kuhn and those people who've been writing books for 25 years. But I believe I can get this book out. So I'm calling on you there, Karoline. I'm going to need you to edit this thing and whip me into shape so I can, because if you leave me to meander on my own, it'll be 1,050 pages. So
you have to listen, because you gave me that book once before, and
But I wasn't serious about it then.
And I went over it, and I told you all the things that
you needed to
get rid of.
But the first thing you told me.
Okay.
So the first thing she told me was I needed a conflict, because I didn't have a conflict.
Not a single one.
So it starts out with now I move the conflict up. It starts with a conflict. So as you can see, I told you I'm an acquired taste. So it's taking me a bit to get there, but I'm working my way there. So. That's I'm putting it out there in the universe, and then we're going to work toward that goal.
All right. Well, since you put that out in the universe, this gives me an opportunity to share with you all the mini podcasts that I have available for your listening pleasure. Of course, you're listening to Living Your Best Life with Karoline and AJ, but I have 3 more podcasts that might pique your interest too, and one of those is called Author Speak. I just started that podcast. My co-host is Miss Renee Marshall McKinley.
Renee!
If you are an inspiring writer, you want to, like AJ, want to write a book, and you seriously want to get it out there, or you're just thinking about you putting some stuff together, listen to our podcast, because we're going to have authors on our podcast. We're going to talk, we're authors, Renee and I, and we're going to talk about all the different components of how you can write a book, and putting it all together, putting your characters together, the momentum, how to keep people interested. All of that stuff is going to be on our podcast.
Maybe I'll be back as a guest as an author.
And maybe he'll be back on our show as an author. But I'm throwing that out there because this is how I live my best life. We all have our ways, and Al or AJ told us all the things that he has done to make himself happy. He's doing his best life. But how I live my best life is doing the podcast that I do. So again, Authors Speak, brand new podcast. I want you to listen to that. Also, I have another podcast coming out called All Things Spiritual, for all my spiritual people who knows that there is a difference between being spiritual and being religion. So, we're going to put that out there. We're going to talk about all things spiritual. If you are interested in spirituality and you want to listen to that podcast, please listen to it. And of course, the podcast that started it all, Real Talk with Real People, a candid conversation with me, Dr. Karoline Jones, is still available. I just want you all to just have a wonderful, wonderful life. Time is short. Live your life. Go out there, do what you love. Don't let nobody stop you. Don't let nobody tell you that you're too old or you're too big or you're too young or you're too this. Don't let nobody get in your psyche. Don't let nobody tell you what you can and cannot do. Just go out there and live your best life. Do that for me, please. Please, please, please. AJ, you have any parting words?
Listen, as I said, I've been saying this for years. I like to say I live a charmed life.
Yes, you do.
I tell people I'm a married bachelor.
Yes, I can contest to that.
And I have just really understand how short and finite life is.
Life is short.
So I try to pack as much energy, enthusiasm, fun. I try to surround myself with great people. I don't like to be the smartest person in the room, in my circle. I seek out those who are of more IQ and status than me, so they can show me how to move in different spaces. And then this one I didn't speak on, but this one I think is one of the most important ones, is when you do achieve a little bit of something and a little level of success, it is incumbent upon you to turn around, reach back,
that's right,
and pull somebody with you.
That's right.
You got to pour into this next generation behind us. You got to help this youth. You got to help somebody that's trying to get to where you are. Hey, this is not about, I'm trying to be on top of the mountain and look down upon you. I'm trying to get on top of the mountain and pull us all up so that we're all on top of the mountain.
That's right.
And being able to look. So if you keep that kind of mindset, you'll always be in a growth mindset and a forward-thinking mindset as you try to move yourself and your life and your tribe and the world forward.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Nicely said, AJ.
That's what I do.
That's right. That's right. That's what we do. That's what we do. So we want to thank you for joining us on another episode of Living Your Best Life.
Yay, yay.
Karoline and AJ. And if you want to be on our show, and we would love for you to be on our show, wouldn't we, AJ?
Yes, we would.
We would really love for lots of people to come join us on this journey of living our best life, right?
Positively.
And if you want to be on our show, please send us an inquiry at, here we go with the acronyms again, right? So I have to do it on my fingers. Let me see. RTRP Candid Conversations at gmail.com. You don't have to remember that. I'm going to put that all in the information so that you can grab it. You just grab it and then you send us an email and then you can come and have a lot of fun with me and AJ, because we love having fun with all individuals. We're going to sit here and we're going to start planning our next trip, because he is anxious. His hand is getting all itchy. He wants to go someplace. And so we
was about to go to Jamaica.
I know.
In March.
It's like, man, can you give me a break, man? I need a resting period. But we're going to sit here right now and we're going to talk about what we're going to do next, because AJ and Karoline is doing what?
Living our best life.
See you next time. Bye-bye now.
Peace.
So funny.
That was awesome. I know that was great.
Of course it was.